Hey everybody, it's Matty here with Altcoin Buzz. Happy weekend. Hope you're doing well. Today we're going to be discussing a few different updates, including the second anniversary of our friends over at Enjin. ENJ has been making big splashes in the world of cryptocurrency and Bitcoin, of course. We'll let you know what some of the other milestones are that we have to celebrate here on Cointelegraph.com. It's official. The United States national debt has hit $23 trillion. The case for over $1 million per Bitcoin is directly correlated to this statistic, and it's kind of fitting that we've just now crossed the 11-year Bitcoin birthday anniversary, and this number, 23 trillion of US debt, is also in the news. We'll take a look at that on Cointelegraph.com. Also on the site, former US Congressman Ron Paul receives his first Bitcoin. Mr. Ron Paul, whether or not you've followed him in the past, he's kind of been a little bit anti-institution, anti-authoritarian. He's been a proponent traditionally of things like auditing the Federal Reserve, and so this also goes hand in hand with that $23 trillion milestone. And finally, we'll let you know how Binance is going back to its roots on altcoinbuzz.io. Before all that, let's take a brief look at the market on coinmarketcap.com. Total market cap, $249 billion. Bitcoin at $9,323 with a 67.5% dominance. As you can see, things are up a percentage point or two. Bitcoin Cash up 3.9% on the day. And on altcoinbuzz.io, we are celebrating with our friends over at Enjin the second anniversary of their project. Article here by Ezekiel. Check out what's in store for Enjin's anniversary. Actually, the 1st of November marks the day when Enjin's ERC20 token went live. It also marks the day when the Enjin MFT has been bounded to its addresses. There has been a QR released to celebrate this. Unfortunately, it's already dried up. If you don't know about Enjin MFT, it's considered one of the most valuable items in its native multiverse. And this really goes into the topic now of blockchain gaming, with which some of you are familiar, some of you not so much. But MFTs are founder tokens from games and platforms that entitle the holders to airdrops and special access like betas. And the Enjin MFT was mostly given away in QRs and contests. When the Enjin marketplace went live, the Enjin MFT was sold at 6,000 ENJ each. During the last hours till the MFT got locked, it traded at around 4,500 ENJ. Enjin also debuted their marketplace about a month ago, more in just a second on that, but November further symbolizes the start of Enjin's Nitro. In a recent interview with the company, CTO Wojtek Radowski said that there is so much waiting to be unleashed, and the next months, as Ezekiel concludes here, are definitely going to be fun to watch. For more information on the marketplace functionality and the features of the platform, check out Ezekiel's piece here from September 30th on altcoinbuzz.io. Enjin Marketplace is finally here. For more information in general and to support our friends over at Enjin, check out, you guessed it, enjin.com. They're up to a lot. They're going to be a fun one to keep track of going forward. And now in slightly less optimistic news, if you're a devotee of fiscal monetary policy and the politics that surround it as I am, you'll be aware that the U.S. national debt just hit a pretty staggering figure, $23 trillion. And of course, that sparks a discussion related to cryptocurrency and the potential valuation of the $1 million Bitcoin. This is a handy website to bookmark. Many of you have no doubt seen it before, usdebtclock.org. And there are a whole lot of figures here from which you can draw, volumes of statistics, certainly. But most importantly, at least in my opinion, is the U.S. national debt. As you can see now, ticking over $23 trillion. On its own, it may not mean necessarily a whole lot. It's still significant. But here's a pretty important observation as well. It's worth noting that the debt per United States citizen is $69,724, and that the debt to gross domestic product ratio is 106.65%. That is very significant because now we're kind of, look, it's never been sustainable. I'm not saying that there's any great figure that you want to have in terms of your national debt. But for that ratio to be over 100%, it means that it's above and beyond 100% would be equal, right, to their gross domestic product. But it's now above it by 6.65%. That's not good. And as the argument goes, the more the debt spirals out of control, the more you're going to have inflation, the more you're going to have undisciplined, frivolous spending, and the more you're going to have people that are going to want to have a monetary policy based in mathematics and algorithms such as Bitcoin. Host of the Kaiser Report and cryptocurrency entrepreneur Max Kaiser also says that central banks are contributing to Bitcoin's success in a recent interview with tech news outlet Hacker Moon that was published on the 1st of November. For instance, the impact of the U.S. Federal Reserve's quantitative easing monetary policy on the price of Bitcoin. Quote, it bottomed when the Fed signaled infinite QE, quantitative easing, recently at around 3,300 Bitcoin. Global central banking is about to go bust and all fiat money will die. On a long enough time frame, that is certainly true. All fiat money will eventually go bust. There's no doubt about it. As Cointelegraph recently reported, Bitcoin proponents rang the alarm bells, pointing out that since mid-September, the U.S. Fed has effectively created hundreds of billions in new money, more than Bitcoin's entire market cap of about 165 billion in just a matter of days. So, a lot of different people will have a lot of different opinions when it comes to this subject, but the more and more this national debt figure climbs, and at least from my perspective, nobody's really doing anything to curtail it. So it's going to continue in this upward trajectory. And the more it does climb, the more it does increase, the more the case is made for Bitcoin, for cryptocurrency, for blockchain-based digital assets. Now, do I have a bias when I express that opinion? Certainly, and I admit to it. However, even removing myself from my current preferences and my current perspectives and outlook and all that, mathematically and objectively, this is not sustainable what the central banks are doing. And so whether it's Bitcoin, whether it's something else, it's going to be supplanted one way or another. Now, in kind of related news, we have the former U.S. Congressman, Dr. Ron Paul, who has received his first Bitcoin. This is also on Cointelegraph.com, and this fits pretty neatly into the news that we've just seen, at least in my opinion. So former Texas Republican Congressman and presidential candidate Ron Paul received his reportedly first Bitcoin from Bitcoin Foundation board member and Bitcoin wallet startup Ballet crypto founder Bobby Lee on the 28th of October. Ron Paul's a bit of a personal favorite of mine. I'm not an American citizen or anything like that, but I can certainly get behind sentimentally some of the stuff that he's pushed in the past. So Lee publicly announced the gift he had given to Paul on November 2nd, noting the coin has been loaded into a gold-plated Bitcoin wallet produced by his company Ballet Crypto. He added that extra care has been given to customizing the wallet to better suit the former congressman. Quote, it was a special serial number AA000820 to match his birthday, and he loves the gold color. And I gotta say, I'm very surprised that Dr. Ron Paul has not previously dabbled in cryptocurrency, that he doesn't already own Bitcoin. Because far before, just kind of taking an aside here, going off on a tangent, before I entered myself this space, this Bitcoin and cryptocurrency and blockchain space, I've always had a bit of a libertarian bent. I was for liberty and a relatively small outreach as far as what the government could do and its authority. So that's kind of been my style, my flavor politically. And I based a lot of, my opinions, I should say, were formed very much on the philosophies of Ron Paul. I've been a big fan of his growing up. And for this to be his first Bitcoin that he's ever received, that's almost contradictory. I'm very, very surprised by that, but there it is. Paul, of course, is an outspoken critic, as I mentioned, of the Federal Reserve, and he's known for his advocacy of gold. With regards to Bitcoin, Paul noted in July that he's in favor of cryptocurrencies and blockchain technology because he supports competing currencies. There you go, a free market mindset. It's very important. Paul's stance is also in stark contrast with the idea of U.S. Congressman Brad Sherman, who believes that cryptocurrencies potentially competing with national currencies, i.e. the dollar, should be banned. And we've covered Brad Sherman's shenanigans in the past. He's a fearmonger, as I've called them. He's clearly looking out for perhaps it's defensible. He's looking out for the interests of the U.S. dollar. That is his job after all. But I really like Ron Paul's perspective. If you're not familiar with him, check out some of his work. Check out some of his previous interviews. Again, he's a freedom, liberty-loving kind of guy, not the type that can be bought or really is partisan along party lines, in my opinion. I don't want to get too political here. Some of you obviously probably have a different point of view and different perspective, but he very much lines up in terms of his personal philosophies, financial philosophies with the world of crypto and Bitcoin. So if you're not familiar with Mr. Ron Paul, check him out, give him a Google search, and I'm very pleased to present this news that he has now received his first Bitcoin. And finally, today on altcoinbuzz.io, we're discussing how Binance is going back to its roots. Article here by David. Binance is planning to open an office in Beijing. Hence, the exchange is slowly increasing its presence in Changpeng Zhao's homeland. And why wouldn't they open a Chinese office now that China has expressed so much enthusiasm for blockchain and to a lesser extent cryptocurrencies, but it's still there, at least indirectly. Cryptocurrency exchange Binance reportedly wants to open an office in Beijing. It will complement the exchange's existing base in Shanghai. However, Binance's CEO, Changpeng Zhao, CZ, hasn't disclosed any details. At the same time, it is evident that the relations between Zhao and the Chinese government are becoming warmer. And there are prospects to consider when entering or re-entering now, expanding your presence in the Chinese market. This week, Zhao spoke about the prospects in that space, particularly saying, quote, Binance currently sees a few $1 million a day worth of volume from Chinese users, especially via the peer-to-peer functionality that became available in China earlier this month. And as we've been covering these last few days, blockchain and cryptocurrencies have received quite a lot of love from China, especially when you consider their previous stances as far as national stances. And according to CZ, China's stance on blockchain is crucial for the cryptocurrency community. Quoting Changpeng Zhao, in January 2016, chairman of the Central Bank of China says blockchain is important. Bitcoin companies in China suddenly all became blockchain companies. And thankfully for me, the price started to recover. The lead into the alt season in 2017, as well as a Bitcoin all-time high again at 20K in December. And today, President Xi Jinping stated strong support or necessity for blockchain development by China, not making any predictions, draw your own conclusions. We are still here, he added. And when you think about it, a year ago, China's censorship firewall blocked access to Binance's website entirely. How things have changed. Let us know what you think this means for the future of Binance and the future of cryptocurrency casual trading in China, this time out of Beijing. Kudos to Changpeng Zhao and the team. That about wraps it up for today, everybody. Do be sure you are following us on all the regular social media channels and keep checking back into altcoinbuzz.io for all the latest. Go ahead, like, subscribe, share, hit the bell to receive notifications if you've enjoyed today's video. Best of luck if you choose to invest on this Saturday, but have a great weekend, everybody. And we do hope to see you again soon in our next video. Take care.